You're listening to the WordPress and Tech podcast with Natalie Crow Designs and the NCD Academy, the podcast designed for non-techies in business wanting to build, improve, and maintain profitable WordPress websites without the tech overwhelm. I'm your host, Natalie Crow, creator of the NCD Academy WordPress 101 course and the NCD Tech Sessions membership. I'll be sharing with you tips, tricks, resources, and my take on WordPress from my 14 plus years industry experience as a WordPress expert. I'm a strong believer that tech is just a tool that we as business owners have access to share our message and help more people. So my goal here is to help you demystify the tech and help you make the most of your WordPress website. Let's dive in. Hey there, lovelies, and in today's episode we're going to be chatting in regards to things that WordPress website owners should be doing. I don't usually like to go on the whole concept of we should do everything, and we should do anything that we don't want to, but with WordPress there are things that we need to keep into consideration. So first and foremost, we need to be looking at actually running regular backups. So there's a couple of different things that you can look at. and I have covered in previous episodes in regards to particular plugins that you can use. So you've got like Updraft Plus, Duplicator, and I swear by all-in-one migration. You can also go through and set up some hosting backups. And there are some automated options that you can actually look at there. The next one you want to do is actually making sure that your actual software, so the core version of WordPress, is up to date and running the latest version. You also want to try and make sure that you're actually running the latest versions of your actual plugins and themes. I'm always having a look at, for example, when plugins and themes do get updates. You can actually have a look at, the log files in regards to what changes they've made. So if, for example, if it's cosmetic or it's not necessarily a security upgrade or it's something that's going to be a significant issue, you can leave it a little bit longer, but primarily most of these plugins will go through and actually be added features and security upgrades that they've made available. What's then based on some sort of loophole that they've discovered. So it is a good idea to go through and actually take the time to actually go through and keep your system up to date. Always go through and do a backup before you do any significant changes. But yeah, keeping the core version of WordPress up to date, making sure that you're running the latest plugins and themes is a good, fail-safe measure, for WordPress owners. Next up, you've got the actual regularly reviewing your content. So the content itself, you want to make sure the content's up to date and relevant to your audience. You want to look at things like performance issues, so any slow or broken functionality, and display issues on different devices. So making sure that it looks great on mobile and functions the way it's intended to. The other thing that you might go through and do is actually review your functions. So, for example, send your contact form or purchase a product, subscribe to your newsletter if you've got that functionality. Make sure that all of those are working, especially if you've noticed a decrease in your actual site performance, that type of thing. You also want to be going through and actually adding new content. So you might go through and set up a blog to give reasons for your audience to come back and visit the site. You might offer new freebies or lead magnets, offering people some sort of free option in exchange for their name and email address, or adding a website specific section. So content, so you might tell people to go in and actually go to your website and view the content, so that you're actually driving traffic there. For example, with this podcast, I reference ncdacademy.com.au/podcast, which is a specific page that I've set up on my site with resources and things like that people can go back to and have a look at. So it's being able to actually go through and build on that section now. I can go through and actually add more to that page and give you guys additional things that you can actually come on in and check out. But yeah, adding new content is another way to actually go through, keep your site interesting, but also go through and actually build on that actual user experience when they come on in. And the last one here that we should be doing as WordPress owners is going through and actually building our audience. We don't always want to go through and actually put all our eggs in one basket. For example, having all of our audience on social media, we definitely want to be driving them to our website. Your website is pretty much the only space that they've got online that's not going to be, distracted by other competitors or different things. You're still going to have to compete with their day-to-day life. For example, they might have kids running around, or they might be doing multiple things at once when they're looking at your site. But having them there where they've got a concentrated effort or attention on your actual business, where you've got basically all the information that they need in one place that they can go to at a convenient time for them, is definitely the focal point with your website. But going through and helping build your audience and getting people back to your website, you might look at actually going through and setting up a subscription box, and a lead magnet. I'll do an actual training, more even a podcast episode in regards to lead magnets, because I think they're important and not too many people actually know exactly what a lead magnet is. So that's in my notes for one of my next episodes. You also want to add ways for people to share your content from your website and on social media. Have links to your website in your bios for social media to actually draw people back to your website, and also going through and actually creating listings on other directory websites to give links back to your website as well can be really helpful. But overall, just to recap, I know that we're quite fast, but going through 5 things that WordPress website owners should be doing. You want to be running regular backups of your website. You want to go through and make sure that your software and your plugins and themes, etc., are all kept up to date. Always doing a backup before you actually do any of those. You want to be regularly reviewing your content site, the site itself. So for content, performance issues and that type of thing. You want to be going through and actually adding regular content and working on things that you can actually introduce or continue to add to that are going to build your audience. But yeah, I hope that helps, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. You've been listening to the WordPress and Tech podcast with Natalie Crow. I'd love for you to go through and subscribe so you don't miss any of my next episodes. Also head over to ncdacademy.com.au/podcast for all of our free resources and tools and tips.